Okay, so welcome for those who just joined us today.
大家好，因为对那些今天才来参加的人，
And welcome back to those who was here yesterday.
欢迎昨天来过的人。
I think for both, probably it's good to recap some of the things we did yesterday.
对刚刚这两种人的复习一下昨天谈的会有好处。
We talked about the single most powerful thing that one can do is observe.
我们谈到说，唯一能够让大家能够最强而有力能做的事情，就是去观察。
And actually, you do observe.
那事实上，我们是观察。
I mean, by nature, what we call mind is an observer.
那在本质上呢，我们所说的心就是一只观察者。
And this is something that you don't need to acquire. You already have it.
那这个是我们不需要去获得的东西，我们已经具足了。
Here, what we are trying to do is trying to observe fully.
我们在这里想要做的，只是让我们能够完整的观察，
Without interference,
而没有干扰，
open-mindedly,
非常开放的，
and trying to observe without prejudice.
希望可以不要有偏见的去观察。
And this is actually even though all this list that I'm reciting sounds very daunting and sounds very complicated, it is not.
那虽然仁波切刚刚讲的所有这些形容的听起来好像很繁复、很复杂，可是事实上并非如此。
I mean, right this very moment, you are conscious of something.
因为就在此刻，诸位是意识到某些事情。
Let's just find out.
我们可以去发现一下。
And this is it. This is what we are going to take advantage of.
那这就是了，这就是我们希望能够利用的东西。
I mean, it's a bit like you have a knife, and let's use it to cut potato, tomato, whatever. Just use it.
这就好像我们有一把刀，那我们就利用它来切番茄啊，切这些水果等等。
And let's use it in its full, potential.
让我们来利用它，直到它用到它的这个最大的潜能。
Independently.
独立的。
Without being influenced by all kinds of theory, like religious, scientific, political.
我们独立的来用它，不要被一些理论来影响，不要被宗教、科学或者是政治的影响。
Okay. Now, we have to begin somewhere.
那我们需要从某个地方开始。
So here, in the classic Buddhist technique of Vipassana, which also has many varieties, what we are beginning with is based on 4 mindfulness, or 4 awareness, I should say.
那我们就从一个非常传统经典的这个佛教的方法，有关于观的这个修行。当然观的修行有很多种。我们现在要提的是4念住4种觉知。
And really, please keep it simple. We are not talking about anything exotic.
那请大家要知道，要把这个事情变得很单纯。我们并不是在谈什么神秘的东西。
Just being aware of body.
只觉知到自己的身体。
Of course, many times, even though body is so immersed with mind, we are not conscious of it, and we are not aware of it.
当然，在很多时候，心跟身呢，事实上是非常融在一起的。可是我们并不是太觉知它。
We are not aware that every moment the hair is growing.
我们并不觉知到每一个刹那，我们的头发都在生长。
We are not aware that every moment a breath is going out, and the next moment breath is coming in.
我们也没有觉知到每一个时刻，每一个刹那，这个我们呼吸，我们吸气，我们呼气。
Probably you are not aware that you are sitting right now.
可能你也不觉知到现在自己是坐着。
Maybe a little later, when sitting is becoming too long, then you would be aware, pain, sort of discomfort. Then you'll be aware that there is a body. Even that.
也许过了一阵子，当然你忽然觉得，哎呀，坐太久了，好像是脚有点痛，身体有点痛。那时候我们才觉知到我们是坐着。
So, what we are going to do is, since the morning is always good, for many of us.
我们现在要做的是下面的东西，因为早上对很多人来讲都是比较好的。
We are going to do 10 minutes of awareness on body.
我们要做10分钟对于身体的觉知。
And there are few options you have.
那你有几个选择？
One is just be aware of the body.
那第一个就是只是觉知到自己的身体。
It's not even like, I have a body, I have a body, I have a body. That's a theory.
不是说你跟自己说，我有一个身体，我有一个身体，我有一个身体，这样子是一种理论。
Just be aware of your body.
只是觉知到你的身体就好。
I know that you have a body. We all know that you have a body. We don't need that theory anymore.
我们都知道我们自己有个身体，所以我们不需要在那个理论，不需要那个理论。
Just acknowledge and be aware of the body. At times in parts, some other times maybe whole.
只要了知、觉知自己有个身体，你可以有时候觉知到整个身体，或者是有时候觉知到部分的身体。
And if that is too abstract for you, then I would suggest you to concentrate on breathing in. Be aware of breathing in and out.
那如果这样做对大家太抽象的话，那人们就建议大家可以觉知自己呼气跟觉知自己吸气。
Okay. The body. Okay, we talked about the feeling yesterday also.
我们昨天谈到这个感受感觉。
And we talked about who are you or what are you.
那我们也谈到说你是谁，或者是你是什么。
And from the Buddhist point of view, you are the body, the feeling, the mind, and what we call dharma.
那从佛教的观点来讲，你就是你的身、你的感受、你的心跟所谓的法。
Okay, so this body, and they're all very related, actually, very related, intertwined.
那他们互相之间都非常有关系的。
So this first 10 minutes, even though we may be more on body, it's okay if you want to explore, if you want to just watch the feeling.
那这首先的10分钟呢，我们是要来觉知我们的这个身体。不过，如果你要觉知你的这个感受，也可以的。
You know, like feeling of breathing in and out.
比如说像对于呼气、吸气的一种感受。
But anyway, we are going to do more specifically the feeling after the first 10 minutes.
可是我们等一下，第一个10分钟之后，我们会来做这个觉知感受的。
And I think it's always good to discipline ourselves to sit straight.
那我们让自己有一种纪律是好的，所以我们要坐直。
And also not give in to bodily needs such as aching or so. In other words, not to scratch, not to yawn, not to sort of wrist sit. Not like wrist sitting again.
不要随便降服于我们自己的身体，所以比如说我们感觉到痛啊，什么身体不要动，不要扭动。
Okay, so let's do a 10 minutes one on body. More the body. You can include some feeling if you want.
我们来做10分钟，觉知自己的身体。当然，大部分觉知自己的身体，你可以包含一些感受，也可以。
Okay. Okay. Sometimes the language, the words are very deceiving.
有时候这个语言是非常欺骗的。
So, I think we talked about this yesterday. Yes, we did talk about it yesterday. The whole point of doing the Vipassana is to see the truth.
我们昨天谈过，这个修持观最重要的这个唯一的目的，就是要见到实相，见到真理。
Once you see the truth, you have finished your work.
一旦你见到实相，你的任务就达成了。
Then that is actually the liberation.
那个事实上就是解脱。
Once you know, as you having a nightmare, once you know, oh, you are just dreaming, finished.
在你有梦魇的时候，当你一旦知道你是在做梦，那你就结束了。
Doesn't mean that you will stop dreaming.
不表示你会停止做梦。
You will not be caught by the dream.
可是你不会被那个梦所牵引抓住。
In fact, you might even play with it. Who knows? That's up to you.
事实上，你说不定还可以跟他游戏。
But until you know the truth, you are going to be the victim of that game.
可是直到你知道实相之前，你永远会变成那个游戏的受害者。
Right? But the word truth, words like truth or realization of the truth, these words and these phrases, they are so self-deceiving because for one, it's making you all think it's such a big deal. It's such a big deal.
可是所谓的实相啊，或者是了知实相啊，这种名词，都常常是非常欺骗的，会让你觉得这事情好像我这个非常不得了。
And it's so difficult for me because in a way, yes, of course it's a big deal. To wake up from a nightmare is of course a big deal.
从这个梦魇里面醒来，当然是一个很不得了的事情。
But at the same time, it is something so simple.
可是同时，它又是一件非常简单的事情。
Yeah. So this, seesawing between, this, importance of waking up to the truth and really having the confidence to the simplicity. This seesaw is a challenge for you.
所以在这个了解到解脱的重要性，跟维持一种信心，了解这种简单性，这两之间的拉锯呢，是对我们是一个很大的挑战。
And of course, the words like nirvana doesn't help, especially when it's hyped with, photos of rainbow and I don't know, nirvana. It's damaged by idea of nirvana too much.
当然，像这种涅槃这种字眼，加上有时候被弄得更不得了，实际上是用一些照片，有这个彩虹啊什么这种照片。事实上，涅槃这个字，这个概念呢，就是一种让我们很伤害的一个概念。
But those hyping is also necessary.
可是这种把它变得很不得了的这个事情呢，也蛮重要的。
For many, many people, if I say, just observe your body.
对很多人来讲，如果仁波切只跟你说，你就觉知自己的身体就好了。
Don't judge, just observe.
不要批判，只是观察。
No hope, no fear, no contriving, just observe.
没有恐惧，没有期待，没有造作，只是观察。
And then as you observe, you begin to realize the truth of the body.
那当你开始观察以后，你开始了解到你的身体的实相。
Well, the big part of the truth of the body is that it's passing, always impermanence, changing.
那其中很大的一部分呢，就是你会观察到身体一直在改变的，是一个无常的状况，一直在改变。
Yeah, once you know that, then whole your attitude towards the body has changed.
那一旦你了解这个，你整个对于身体的观念呢就会改变。
And then if I say yes, then when I say this is nirvana, and for a lot of people it's going to be difficult to accept.
可是仁波切如果跟你说，那这就是涅槃，对很多人来讲这个很难接受。
So for a lot of people it's easier if I paint a land of Amitabha, with the Amitabha in the center, with all the lofty color, lotuses and all those kind of things, it works. And that should not be condemned.
那对很多人来讲呢，这个阿弥陀佛净土，如果告诉大家阿弥陀佛净土有各种色彩、花卉，有很多这个莲花等等，这个比较能接受。那这种方法不应该被排斥。
Yes. There are a lot of modern so-called Vipassana people who condemns these things, which is so unfortunate.
那有很多所谓的现代的这种教导观的这种老师对于像阿弥陀佛教法提出指责，那这是一个非常不幸的一个事情。
So-called modern people, they pretend themselves being very scientific.
那所谓的这些非常现代的人呢，他们假装他们非常科学。
So ideas like the land of the Amitabha, they think it's a very like a fairy tale like.
那所以对于这种阿弥陀佛净土这种概念呢，他们认为是一种像童话一样的事情。
But if you read the Amitabha Sutra, you will realize that actually it's exactly the truth that we are exploring here.
可是如果你去读阿弥陀佛经的话，你会发现这就是跟我们现在正在发掘的，现在在这儿发掘的是一模一样的事情。
It just comes with a different packaging, so to speak.
它只是用另外一种包装来讲而已。
Anyway, again going back to the body.
再回到这个身体。
Like the 101 behind me.
就好像在仁波切后面的101大楼。
Generally, we do not observe.
通常我们并不观察的。
We have an idea of sort of 101, but we do not really observe.
我们有一个对101的概念，可是我们并不观察它。
But if you keep on observing, then you will actually see things that you have sort of, what do you call it, overruled.
Sorry?
Overruled, or what do you call it, ignored.
可是如果你一直去观察的话，你可能会看到你忽略的事情。
Yes, so, okay, now the feeling. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about feeling. We have not the feeling is much, much bigger.
下来我们再讲这个感觉、感受。 感受本来昨天没有谈很多，这个是一个比较大的一个题目。
Feeling is a bridge between your body and mind, so to speak.
感受是你的身跟心之间的一个桥梁，可以这么讲。
And okay, and most of the gross feeling comes from our body, of course.
那大部分的所谓的这种粗重的这个感受呢，是来自我们的身体，这是当然的。
But a lot of the subtle feelings also come from certain habit that we have developed, which is very related to mind. Yeah, this is very obvious.
那另外一些非常比较微细的一种感受，特别跟我们的某种特定的习惯、新的习惯有关系，这跟心有关系。
If someone says, okay, if your feeling gets hurt because someone said that you are too thin or too fat,
如果有人说你太瘦或太胖，然后你的这个你感觉受伤，
this is of course coming from this kind of feeling of hurt comes from education, isn't it, or information.
那这种感受是来自于教育，就是说某种资讯我们得到的而感受的。
And lots of our feelings are just that.
我们有很多很多的感受都是这一类的。
It's something that we have learned. The values that we have developed.
是经由我们所学习到的，我们的某种价值，我们所发展出来的。
But okay, so now this gets modern. Okay, so going deeper, some of the feelings are very, very inner.
那我们再深入一点的话，有一些感受是非常深刻、深沉的。
For instance, like some of us, just the sight of the snake is like unbearable.
比如说，对我们某些人来讲，只是看到一眼蛇，我们就非常没有办法忍受。
There are a lot of others who just use the snake as a pet. The snake coils everywhere, and they love it. Just everything about snake, they love it.
对另外一些人呢，他们可以跟蛇玩，可以把蛇缠在身上，把它养成像宠物一样，任何跟蛇有关系的东西，他们都非常喜欢。
So now here, the Buddhists are now beginning to talk about a very subtle cause and conditioning.
那这里在此处呢，佛教徒就在谈一个非常微细的一种因缘的状态。
Like fear of ghost, for instance. Just, those, could be, it's very related again, to education, let's say. Some people don't even believe in ghost.
那比如说怕鬼这种事情，这个事实上也是跟我们所学到的、所受到的教育有关系。因为有些人根本就不相信有鬼。
I'm talking about the ghost that we usually talk, like a spirit.
人们就讲的鬼，就平常我们讲的那种鬼魂啊，什么这种。
Some people may believe in ghosts, but they're not necessarily afraid. No feeling, no specific feeling.
有些人可能相信有鬼，可是没有特别的感受，不一定怕鬼。
But now going more deeper, then there are feeling of being left out.
那我们再更深入一点的，会发现有一种感觉，叫做感受到被
feeling
没有人关注，没有人关心我们，被排斥。
Feeling left behind, I think is better.
被 没有被怎么讲一下，被抛弃，被丢在后面这样子。
alienation，
或者是疏离感。
the feeling of all this again, don't think that there is a specific cause and condition that is playing the game. It's all very, very related.
那所有这些呢，我们不要以为是有一个特定的这种因跟缘造成的，它都是一个非常复杂的一个因缘所造成的。
And it gets so complicated.
变得非常复杂。
Okay, for instance, and there's okay. So for instance, okay, like maybe in this society, maybe you cherish things like filial piety.
那比如说像我们这里的社会呢，我们重视这个孝顺。
Like family, I don't know, all that.
我们重视家庭啊等等的。
Well, this may have come from the culture, sort of Confucius culture of, really paying homage to the ancestors. That could be a little bit.
那这可能从我们的儒家的文化呢，重视这个祖先有关系，也许有一些是从这里来的。
But you play a big role yourself because many times the filial piety, the whole family thing also works for you, that's the nest, that's the sort of the home.
那可是这也是很大部分来自于你自己的，因为你自己在这里面扮演一个很重要的角色，因为这个所谓的孝顺这件事情，有时候也让我们本人获利很多，这就好像是一个我们可以回归到的一个地方。
And then of course there's the pressure also, like again could be coming from an education, you must respect and obey your father, mother, grandparents. That of course there's that education.
那当然也有一些的压力出现，比如说我们也受到教育呢，我们必须尊重我们自己的父亲、母亲等等的。
So I have lot of friends from this part of the world, so to speak.
所以人们就有很多在我们这一个地区的朋友们。
And it's really amazing to observe them, because they are so, they take the, they're so obedient to their parents, for instance.
那观察他们是很有趣的，他们对于父母亲都非常尊崇。
But they really hate the fact that they are obedient.
可是他们又很痛恨自己那么尊崇父母亲。
Then of course the modern education, which is totally alien to you, coming from another part of the world, that is also not helping us.
可是另外我们所接受到的这种教育呢，又是完全从另外一个地方，世界的另外一个地方过来的，那这个对我们也帮助不大。
I'm just giving you some picture of, feeling really on a much deeper level.
那这个人们给这个例子呢，主要是在讲这种所谓的感受，在一个深层的层次上。
Anyway, here, our job here is not really to study and analyze these feelings.
我们在此处的任务，并不是要去研究或者分析这些感受。
That you can do in psychology studies, psychotherapy studies. Probably it will give you some information.
这一部分呢，你可以去这个心理的分析啊，或者心理学的这个课程，也许你会得到一些资讯。
What are we doing here?
我们在这里要做什么呢？
One thing that you are capable to do.
一件你有能力做的事情。
Observe.
就是观察它，
Nothing more.
除此之外没有别的，
Just observe and observe and
只是
observe.
只是观察，观察，观察。
And no judgment, of course not. And not really like where is it coming from, why is it coming from, it's endless.
不要去批判，当然也不要去问说这是从哪里来的啊，为什么它会来啊，等等的。
And okay, so that's what we have to do.
这是我们要做的。
So we will do again one more 10 minutes. This time, let's begin with concentrating on bodily sensations.
那我们再来做10分钟。那我们一开始呢，让我们比较集中注意到身体的一种身体的感受。
And then, I don't know what feeling you have.
然后呢，不管你有什么样的感受，
If you notice one, just observe that.
如果你注意到了一个，你就观察它就好了，
And don't do anything about it.
不要去做任何事情，其他的事情。
So that's what we will do, 10 more minutes.
好，我们再做10分钟。
Okay. In bookshops, there's a lot of books about self-help.
在书店里面有很多自助的、自己帮助自己的这种书。
And there's a lot of books about self-discovery.
有很多自我发现的这种书。
And books about building confidence.
建立自己信心的书。
I mean, of course, how can I stop you reading those books? Please read.
当然，目前没办法阻止大家去读这些书，请大家去读吧。
But there's nothing much to discover.
可是没什么好发现的，事实上。
You have a body.
你有一个身体。
You have a feeling.
你有感受。
You have a mind, cognizance.
显然你有一个心。
And you have lots of references.
那你有很多参考点。
That's about it. That's about all. There's thing to discover.
就差不多就这些可以去发现了，没什么别的了。
And if you can acknowledge that.
如果你可以了知这件事情。
And if you can also acknowledge the truth of, after observing the body and the feeling, the truth of that.
经过观察身体、感受等等以后，你如果可以了知那个实相、那个真相，
that is the self-confidence.
那就是自己的信心。
Confidence is built on a truth.
信心是建立在真相上面的。
I'm a man.
而且是一个男人。
So when I go to toilet, I don't have to think, should I go to the woman or man or woman or man? I just go to the man.
他上厕所的时候就不需要去想说我到底要进男厕所还是女厕所，就是自然就进去男厕所。
So like this, if you know the truth of this.
就像这样，如果你知道那个真相。
Okay, by observing the body, the truth is rise, pass, rise, passing, arising. That's the body, the truth.
你如果观察你的身体，你会发现升起、消逝、升起、消逝，就是生灭这样子。
Basically impermanence.
基本上就是无常。
And if you are observing the feeling,
当你观察感受的时候
the truth that you will discover is nothing is ultimately satisfying.
那你会发现这个你所发现的真相呢，就是没有任何一件是就近的让你可以满足的。
We will talk about that non-satisfying part after the break. Let's have a 10 minutes break.
我们休息10分钟以后会来谈这个所谓的不满足感这种。
Okay, as people are walking in, maybe we'll just do some question and answer.
现在等大家进来的时候，我们先接受几个问题。During the meditation session, when being asked, "Who are you?" Examining all parts of the body and all thoughts, there was a voice in my mind answer, "I don't know. What is exactly the next step after getting this shocking answer?" And according to this person's experience, shamatha calms the mind and vipassana awake the mind. But sometimes it feels disturbing. My question is whether such disturbing feeling can be considered as part of Vipassana meditation. 所以问题是说，他在问打坐的时候问说我是谁？ 的时候，会得到一个答案，说我不知道，那下一步要做什么？那第二个是说，止的修行好像是把心平静下来，而观的修行是觉醒自己的心。可是这个觉醒有时候会感觉到很干扰，那这个是不是也是观的修行的一部分
？Yes, of course. Finding the truth is always can be very shocking, I guess.
当然，这个了知真相呢，有时候是会蛮令人惊讶的。
You are looking at a ring of fire, and you think there's actually a ring of fire.
你在观察一个火圈，就是那种火在转的这种圈，那你以为是真的是有一个圈圈在那里。
And when the person slow down, then it's, I don't know, shocking is the right word, but that's just one single fire being moved very fast.
那当那个摇动火的人呢，把动作慢下来，你会发现说，那事实上不是一个圈，只是一把火而已。当然，这是不是所谓的shocking 这种震惊呢？不一定。可是就是你会了解到这个真实的状态。
As for the question, who am I? Of course, you are welcome to ask this question again and again. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people who do this.
那当然，对于这个我是谁这个问题，你可以一直问自己，很多人是会这么做的。
But, I mean, if I would suggest you to save this time, no need to ask this question.
那什么协会建议你这一次呢，就节省你的时间，不要去问这个问题了。
Who are you? As I said, is you are the body, you are feeling, you are mind, and you are phenomena. That's it. Beyond that, you will not find anything.
那你就是你的身体、你的感受、你的这个现象，或者说那个法，除了这个以外呢，你没有别的东西了。
This answer is given 2,500 years ago, and I don't think there's any more to than that.
2500年前，这个答案就已经给大家了，所以而且觉得不会再有什么东西，从这里面跑出来。
Sure, you can talk about the soul and the beautiful thing, blah blah blah. All that falls into the category of the last one, the phenomena.
那你可以谈到说这个灵魂啊，任何各种美妙的形容，所有这些呢，都属于最后那个法或者是那个现象那一类。
You know, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a liberal, I'm conservative.
我是男人，我是女人，我是自由派的，我是保守派的。
I don't know all this. I'm something. You know, this is.
我是什么
Yeah. So that is a. I think I gave you yesterday the example of coffee.
昨天给的一个例子是咖啡。
So if you want to have an Americano, let's say,
你如果要一个美式咖啡，
there's some indispensable ingredient, right?
那有一些不可或缺的元素在里头。
And one of them is like water.
那其中之一就是水。
I mean, it's, yeah. If you want to drink an Americano, now if you just want to have an unground or grounded or whatever roasted coffee independently without drinking, then of course just a coffee bean will do.
当然，如果你要喝的话，当然一定要有水。可是你如果不是要喝，只是要有咖啡，当然咖啡豆就够了。
Okay, but coffee, Americano. Probably the most important ingredient is the bean itself, right?
那对于美式咖啡，可能最重要的这个元素就是这个咖啡豆本身。
Yeah, like that, out of the four, I mean, they're actually equally important, but I would say if you have to choose as more essential part of you, then I would choose the mind and the phenomena. Those two are big deal.
那当然，这个四个元素里面最重要 都很重要。可是如果你一定要选最重要的，大概就是第3个跟第4个，就是心跟这个法或者现象。
Most of the Vipassana people just do a little bit with the body and little bit with the feeling, and that's it. They dare not go to the mind and the phenomena. It's too complicated.
那大部分所谓的修持内观的这个人呢，都是做一点点身体，一点点这个感受，那他们不太会进去心或者是法这一部分。
Okay, so let's just pretend we kind of generalize the body and the feeling.
那我们现在就假设我们已经概略的谈过这个身体跟感受了。
I mean, there's much more than what we have done, but this is good enough as an introduction, I think.
当然还有很多可以做的，不过对于这个介绍这个心跟感受，差不多我们就做到这里。
Especially the feeling is really, it's something, it's very vast.
事实上，这个感受是很广大的。
Especially, we live in the desire, we call it kama dhatu, which means that we live in the feeling realm. Yeah, we are feeling oriented.
我们是所谓的住在这个 desire realm，
Yeah, feeling, I guess.
欲界或者是这种感受的这种界里面，所以感受对我们来讲是非常重要的。
Wow. Just so many, like birthday card.
太多了，比如说像生日的贺卡，
It's all to do with the feeling, isn't it?
都是跟这个感觉、感受有关系的。
To make someone happy, or I don't know, it could make somebody unhappy if you are 60 years old.
就是生日卡呢，就可以让某些人开心，那也许是让某些人不开心。如果他超过60岁的话。
You don't want to be reminded, right? And then there's like hundreds of people say, "Happy birthday!" And now you are 60.
有100个人来跟你说生日快乐，你现在60岁了。
I'm talking about myself.
我们现在说他自己。
So, yeah, just feeling. Feeling is a big, it's. If there's no feeling, Amazon will drop.
感受是非常重要的，如果没有感受的那个 Amazon 亚马逊就会垮掉了。
淘宝 is it？
淘宝也会垮掉
，drop crash。
淘宝就会倒闭了。
Okay, now the mind. Let's do the mind.
下面我们来谈心。
Now this is very big.
这是很大的一个题目。
As I said yesterday, quite a lot. This is something that you cannot just delete or eject.
那心是一个你没有办法就把它去除或者把它丢掉的一个东西。
Yeah. Well, of course they are related, body, feeling, and the mind, but mind is much more pervasive.
那当然，我们说这个身受跟这个心，事实上心是更遍在的。
Where body cannot reach, feeling can reach, but where feeling cannot reach, mind can reach.
这个身不能达到的地方，这个感受可以达到；感受不能达到的地方，心可以达到。
And mind is also the vessel, if you like, the ground where, feelings and body and all this interact. Sort of, it's like a vessel.
那心也是一个，就像一个载具或者是一个基础，是这个 身体啊、感受，这是一切这种互动的发生的地方。
I mean, we can talk about, like, and probably not necessary. I was thinking about like intelligence, like artificial or not artificial intelligence.
那么是想谈说这个智能，人工智能跟非人工智能。
But intelligence is just one small part of the body.
可是智能只是身体的一小部分而已。
Yeah, intelligence is defined as a ability to comprehend.
智能或智力，被定义为这个了解的能力。
Or understand.
对，了解的能力。
But mind is much more than that.
可是心超过这个。
Ironically, let me put it this way, even the no ability, not comprehending, who is not comprehending, that is also the mind.
那很讽刺的来讲呢，就是说，那个即使是不了解，那个所谓不了解的那个东西，也是心。
Yeah, it's just well, I think the word mind, the English word mind, is not doing the justice to the Sanskrit word like citta or sem in Tibetan. I don't know what is it in Chinese.
人们却说这个英文的 mind 呢，事实上不能够完全来代表这个梵文讲的 chitta 或者是藏文的这个 sem。在说中文是什么
What is it?
心。
What does that mean?
Mind.
Heart.
Yeah, some in yeah.
But one thing, this part of the world has invested a lot of time and energy, at least in the past.
那可是至少心呢，这个在我们东方的这个世界里面，至少在过去投资了很多研究在里头。
Just those guys who went to mountains like Huashan and all of those, they went there for that.
像那些去了华山修行的那些家伙，他们去华山的目的就是要去研究心。
I think, study of mind came very late in Europe, for instance.
举例来说，在欧洲去研究心呢，就来得很晚。
Before that, everything was God made and all of that, so they were satisfied with this.
在那之前呢，他们认为一切都是上帝制造的，所以他们就很满足这样的答案。
And I think, when is it? 17th, 18th century, like Freud, I think, around that time. I think so. I don't know. I'm not so sure.
直到后来17、18世纪，直到这个弗洛伊德那个时候才开始。
But some of the Freud's, I don't know. I didn't read much, but few I read. His idea about, like libido and desire, lust about human, very interesting. It really, I don't know, it's really, the guy really thought a lot. Because it's very, very much, similar to like a Buddhist, teachings.
人们其实说他没有读很多弗洛伊德的书，不过弗洛伊德，比如说像对于这个libido， 我忘记怎么翻译了，就是那个欲望的那个力量， 或者是谈到人类的欲望，是非常有趣的，因为他说这个人想了很多，因为这个欲望的这个概念呢，跟佛教里面谈的很接近。
Okay, anyway, right now, let's just make it simple. It's the mind that we are talking is basically the thing that manages to cognize or that cognizes things.
那我们现在把它弄简单一点，所谓的心，就是那个觉知的那个东西。
And we talked about that right at the beginning yesterday.
昨天一开始有谈到。
Do you have a mind?
你有心吗？
You must.
一定有。
The difference between you and the table is you have a mind.
你跟那个桌子之间的不同呢，就是你有心的，桌子没有。
Okay, so this time I'm going to guide you this part. So so just follow my instructions as you meditate, as you do this awareness, the third awareness, the awareness of mind.
这次仁波切说，他要带着大家做，引导大家做，所以大家跟着仁波切在讲的指示，有关于这个第三点，这个觉知这个心。
Okay, so please sit straight.
请大家坐直。
Let's just observe the body.
我们就观察身体。
Say fingers.
说，比如说手指头。
Your head.
你的头。
Your belly.
你的肚子。
As you observe your belly, now observe the observer.
当你在观察你的肚子的时候，你现在观察一下那个观察者。
Now, as you do that, your mind must be already gone somewhere.
当你在做这件事情的时候，你的心可能就已经跑到别的地方去了。
No need to search.
不需要去寻找。
Where it is gone.
它去哪里了？
Observe your breathing in and out.
观察你的呼吸，吸入跟呼出去的气。
As you observe the breathing, this time observe the observer.
当你在观察呼吸的时候，现在观察那个观察者。
Okay, let's stop.
好，停一下。
Okay, maybe I will do one more time again, guided, slightly different.
我们现在会再做一次，稍微不太一样。
Okay, maybe in between that, 1 or 2 questions.
OK， 之间我们问1、2个问题。
When you are watching the observer,
当你在观察那个观察者的时候，
don't try to find an answer, just watch the observer.
不要想得到一个答案，只是去观察就好了。
No need answer, it's useless.
不需要答案，因为答案没有用。
Please.
One question is, he's talking about the anapanasati and practicing dhyana from awareness of the breathing. And he's comparing to Zigandaza. He feels Zigandaza seems like a meditation without any conditions. So which one should he choose to practice? 他的问题是说，他比较那个安那班那这个从觉知呼吸打坐的法门，跟还有止观打坐这个法门，他觉得止观打坐比较像没有无所缘的一种禅修，那应该选择哪一个？
Yeah. See, this is difficult. You just have to find your whatever you feel inclined.
这个是很难回答的，就是你必须自己去找到说，在目前哪一个你感觉最好。
Also, there's this. This time we are almost like doing it in a sort of almost like it's like just a general introduction, so to speak.
这一次我们只是做一个很概略的这种介绍而已。
I mean, if you really want to pursue this,
如果你真的想要去继续去深入，
it's possible. Just do Shikandaza for a year, just that.
有可能的，你就可以去做，比如说做这个止观打坐，做整年。
I believe it has a complete, it's complete path.
它是一个完整的法道。
So is with Anapana.
安那班那也是一样。
This time I'm trying to give you some general framework of the whole Vipassana, so to speak.
这次仁波切是想给一个有关于这个观的修持的一个整体的这个概念。
So what I really was aiming for is I want you to realize that you have one of the only most powerful thing that exists in the whole universe. The only thing that is most powerful is the power of observing, being able to observe.
那么也希望大家经由这样子的教授呢，了解就是说，在宇宙之间唯一最有力量的一个东西，就是去观察，就是那个去观察的能力。
That you have.
而且大家都具备的，大家都有。
How much are you using it? Of course, it depends.
那你用它多少呢？这是看情况。
Most likely, you are only using the 10,000% of it.
你可能只用了这个1/1000不到了。
And even that, when you are using it through lot of filters, and you have, it's like you are looking at, like through the green glass, lot of filters, lot of sunglasses.
那即使你在用它呢，你也经过很多过滤镜在看，就好像从这绿瓶子看东西，或者是戴很多太阳眼镜去看一个东西。
Like as a man. As a man you look.
就比如说你这样子去看一个人。
As I don't know, all kinds of things. As a Buddhist.
作为一个佛教徒这样看。
So you add up all these filters, right?
你加了一大堆滤镜，是佛教徒，是男人等等的。
And then as all kinds of political values.Social values, religious values.
那加上更多的这个政治的价值啊、社会价值啊，这个各种是宗教价值等等的过滤镜去看事情。
So what we have been trying to do is trying to really be independent from these filters.
那我们想要做的就是说，从所有这些过滤镜里面。独立出来。
And then we try to sort of stir this sort of Vipassana journey in a classic way, which is based on observing body, feeling, and now mind, and then later phenomena.
然后来做这个观的这个修持呢，用传统的这个观察身体、感受心跟这个现象这样子的方法来。
Okay, we are going to do the next one, which is actually probably the thing that many, especially the Tibetan Buddhists would have preferred this second one that I'm about to tell you.
那再下来要做的就是仁波切说，可能这个很多藏传的这个修持呢，比较喜欢这一个办法。
Okay. So please sit straight again.
请大家再坐直。
There has to be some sort of a cognizance right now that's happening.
当下呢，一定有某种觉知。正在发生。
At the least, it's my voice.
至少呢是觉知到仁波切的声音。
Or it could be some sort of a depression or sadness, longing.
或者是某种沮丧、渴望。
It doesn't matter. Some sort of a cognition is happening at the moment. Must be. You are not a table.
或者是悲伤，一定有某种觉知正在发生。
You just have to know that.
你只要知道这个就好。
As it is happening.
当它在发生的时候
Not recalling, oh, I was thinking about 101. It's sort of okay, but not so good.
不要去回想说，哦，我刚刚在想101，那是 OK 的，可是不是太好了。
It could be something so silly.
可能是很可笑的东西。
It could be some incredible creativity.
可能是某种非常不得了的创意。
You only have one thing to do, that is just know that that's happening.
你只要做一件事情，就是你只要知道那个东西。
And if no thought seems to be happening, that's also fine.
那如果没有任何思想，没有任何念头发生，那也没有关系。
Just knowing that there is no thought is already a thought. Just know that.
只要知道没有念头在发生，那当然这已经就是一个念头，也没有关系，就知道就好了。
If no thought happens, don't consider that is something good and try to keep it.
如果没有什么念头发生，不要觉得那件是一个好事，而想要维持它。
If you actually can be aware of a thought, and sometimes feels that you can actually maintain that awareness, don't think that that's also good and try to preserve it.
如果你能够觉知到你的某个念头，而且你感觉到说好像你可以维持这种觉知，不要觉得这是一件好事，而且想要去持续它。
It's nothing special.
那是不是什么特别的东西？
If so many thought comes,
如果念头一大堆，
and you feel that you are not, this is not good, if you feel agitated, don't try to sort of stop it, or you don't try to judge that as if it is something bad.
念头多到让你觉得很烦躁，不要以为这是一件不好的事情，而想要去停止它。
So many clouds, no clouds doesn't make any difference for the sky.
天空不管是很多云还是万里无云，对天空来讲都没有关系的。
Okay, we will afternoon. We will do this more intensively.
下午我们会做更多的这样子的休息。
And I think we will be actually talking more about the mind.
那我们会谈更多有关心的东西。
The phenomena in the mind is so related. I mean, the phenomena has its own, different elements, but probably it's a little bit. It's like maybe many of you beginners are not ready to hear.
那我们下午会谈比较多的心这个东西。那当然，心跟法事实上有很多是重叠的，不过法也有它独立的很多的这个元素吧。不过对于这个诸位初学的人，可能不见得需要进去了解这个法那么多。
But I will talk about it.
那可是这些会谈到一点。
Okay, let's have a lunch break.
好，我们午餐休息。
2 o'clock.
2点再回来。
Okay.